All right. Well, that was not meant to be. The Knicks lose to the Phoenix Suns. Final score of, I don't know what the hell the final score is. They lost by 3 points, 116 to 113. Thrilling game. Objectively, a thrilling game. Frustrating game, obviously, if you're rooting for the Knicks for a variety of reasons. Before we talk about the Knicks, I just want to start by giving a very sincere tip of the cap to the Phoenix Suns. We've, watched the Knicks win that game. It feels like, I don't know, 50 times over the last 3 or 4 years and change, or 3 years and change, I guess, where they are the underdog and they are undermanned and they just go out and they out effort another team. And they win because they out effort another team. And they find a way to scrap and claw and make just enough shots, even when it feels like they have no business being in the game. Even when the other team that is more talented finally awakens and it's like, oh my God, here they come. And they find a way to win. The Knicks have won that game a lot of times. So at the very least, I want to start off by paying respect to another team doing the exact damn thing that the Knicks have done and did a very good impression at that. So shout out to Phoenix and obviously Devin Booker. Incredible shot. We'll get back to that shot in a bit. But in order to give praise to a team that out efforts you, you must also dish out some blame. And we're going to talk a lot about second half. We're going to talk about Julius Randle's resurgence in the second half. We're going to talk about the brilliant Jalen Brunson. I know he missed a free throw late. I know he missed the game-tying attempt at a three. He was brilliant nonetheless. He's perpetually brilliant. And we'll get into all that stuff. Shouldn't have been in that position. And it was so clear in the first half. I don't want to say that they didn't take the Suns seriously, because that's me making an assumption. Watching the game, the way they came out and played in the first half, they looked like a team that had just played the Miami game, except not that they had played the Miami game 2 nights ago. They looked like a team that had played the Miami game last night, and that they were coming out and they didn't have any legs under them. I think at first on their threes, they started off very cold from three. They actually didn't take a lot of threes in the first quarter, and then defensively, you want to talk about the two main things. Defensively, a step slow, and on the boards, just absolutely got murdered on the glass. I'll check and see if the final rebounding numbers were a little bit kinder to them. The final rebounding, they more or less drew even rebounding in the second half, but in the first half, they got out rebounded to a significant degree, and it was noticeable, and it was really frustrating, especially and really is the first quarter. It was 17-8 rebounding margin in the first quarter. And if you go back and you look at the score at the end of the first quarter, that was basically the score at the end of at the second half. And then that was what the Knicks needed to overcome in their third, which is when they made their push, and you could tell they were a little gassed by the time they got to the fourth, and a couple of shots that, might have changed the outcome of the game didn't go down, and they end up coming up short. You can't come out like that. I mean, there are still a few teams in the league left that you could come out with that level of effort. And I don't want to make it out like they were dogging it. They weren't dogging it, and yes, we're going to get into the guy who, I mean, I've said it before, he's the most maddening player in the NBA, Julius Randle. And tonight he gave you both sides of it, between the first half and then starting midway through the third quarter, the other end of it. It wasn't only him, though. I mean, if we're being fair, when he does it, it stands out. Give him credit for that. When Julius is dogging it, he's got to let everybody know it. But it wasn't just him. They were again a step slow on defense. They were not crossing their T's, dotting their I's. They were not. I mean, I haven't seen them out rebounded that badly all year. And that's on everybody. That's on. It's on Mitch, obviously, who's a starting center and grabs what we take for granted sometimes. It's on whoever, anybody. I don't want to start calling out names. It's on everybody. and you give a team like that life. Like, this isn't, we're not talking about the Pistons or the, some young team like the Spurs, right? Who like doesn't know how to close a game. Like Eric Gordon's been in a lot of big freaking games. Yusuf Nurkic has been in a lot of big freaking games. Like we don't think about it, but like Nas Little has been like, he's been around for a while. That dude was a top recruit, like UNC. He's already been through the ringer, and even though he's only whatever he is, 24, 25, like that dude knows how to play in a competitive close game. Hit some big shots tonight. Watanabe played in some big games in Brooklyn. Like, you could definitely look at Phoenix's supporting cast and be like, really? We lost to these guys? Like Jordan Goodwin. Jordan Goodwin's a guy who's fighting for his NBA life. Of course he's going to go out there and play his ass off. That Drew Eubanks. That's why they have a guy like Drew Eubanks who's going to go out there and play his ass. Like you can't fuck around with these guys. Like they're talented enough. Like, and it's to say nothing of Devin Booker. It's like the conversation should stop at Devin Booker. It's like, oh, they have Devin Booker. Okay, that's all we need to know to take them seriously. But and Booker didn't even do anything in the first half. Booker did anything in the first half, they probably would have been down by 15 instead of 8 at half. But they were only down by 15, or they were only down by 8. Excuse me. So that's why for me, for as much as they showed heart, because they always do, because they're the Knicks and say that about them, they always show heart. For as much as they showed heart and chutzpah and fight and all those wonderful things in the second half, this one goes down as more frustrating than a heart. Like honestly, like the Booker 3 went down. I wasn't even surprised. Like I expected that to go down. And as far as the last play, I mean, I just retweeted something from Mo Dakil, who does excellent work, and he made the very simple point, and I think it's a damn good one. Once Booker gives up the ball in that possession, you just can't let him get it back. Like, make someone else beat you. Make anyone else beat you. If they manage to inbound it to him and he already has the ball, that's fine. And then, I'm rewatching the play literally as I'm speaking. Like, okay, you want to say it was a tough angle for RJ to make sure, or Julius, because he was the other guy up high, to make sure that Booker didn't get the ball back. Fine. Then after he gets it back, I didn't think there was enough of a pursuit by RJ, if we're being fair. And then obviously Randall, I'm looking at RJ like, what? I'm not sure what he was doing with that pursuit, because at that point, when he gets the ball back and he starts the dribble move towards the corner, there is 4 seconds left. 5 going into 4 seconds left. Like, there's not passing the ball there. And for Julius to not get up a little bit more on that 3, I mean, but that's Julius. Like, again, I feel like a broken record. And this will transition into the Julius Randle portion of our program. What's the definition of insanity? Expecting different when you've seen the same fucking thing 1,000 times. Like, Julius is just not going to give you a great contest on that. He's just not. And there's a reason that Phoenix designed the play the way they did to ideally end up where Julius was the one defending the 3. It worked out great for them. And there's a reason that the Phoenix Suns throughout large portions of this game were just going after Julius Randle in the pick and roll, because when Julius Randle is not giving you maximum, I mean, when he is giving you maximum effort on D, he's a guy that can be had by a smart team. When he's not giving you maximum effort on D, and further than that, when he's not really giving you any effort on D, and yeah, I'm calling him out over and above the other guys who, yes, nobody really had it tonight just to come out of the gate. But again, there's just a different level when he has it. And when one player not playing with the requisite effort manifests itself into the other team's game plan shifting so drastically towards just get Julius in pick and roll. Fred Katz tweeted about it tonight. Just find a way to get Julius matched up on whether it's a shooter, whether it's a driver, whether anybody. It doesn't matter, because you're going to get a shitty closeout, or you're going to get a blow by, or you're going to get a foul, or, something that's going to benefit you. There were other mistakes made. I want to go back and rewatch. I thought Brunson played really far off of the corners at times. And they were just, I think maybe that was more intentional, and they were just banking on those corner 3-point shooters to miss. And then you look up, of course, at the end of the game, and it's like, oh, Phoenix 16 for 38 from deep for 42%. 42% on 38 shots with no Kevin Durant and no Bradley Beal. That doggle hunt. Like, they shot great from three. And, like, yeah, if you zoom all the way out and you'd be like, well, the Knicks lost the game by 3 where the other team went nuclear from deep, when they do not usually do that. And, there's your difference. The Knicks went 12 of 30 for 40%, though. So it's like, well, the Knicks kind of hit a lot of threes, too. So that's why I'm not – that's a shitty excuse for me. And it's not one I'm going to use. I'm certainly not going to chalk this one up to, oh, Phoenix hit a lot of threes. Like, yes, I get part of their game plan is assuming that, like, guys who are not great 3-point shooters are going to revert back to the mean, and they didn't tonight. Again, you shouldn't have put yourself in that position. But back to Randall, yeah, it's like, and then obviously he was giving you nothing on offense. And just as everybody is like pulled their last hair out, comes out in the third quarter, and he looks like one of the, 10 most unstoppable players in basketball for a solid half a quarter. I mean, I know he scored 17 points in the third. It felt like those 17 points came in a really short stretch of time. And he obviously finished the game. I mean, if you look at his stat line, if you didn't watch the game and you just looked at his stat line, you're like, okay, 28 points on 21 shots. That's pretty good. Got to the free throw line 8 times. That's good. Okay, 5 rebounds, a little light. Couple assists, 2 turnovers. All right, well, pretty good game for Julius Randle. And, like, yeah, at the end, okay, let's say it's a pretty good game. Like, it's so freaking frustrating to watch. And it's frustrating to watch because you see what happens when the switch is flipped and how much better it is. And you wonder why. Why? What's the reason? And like, there's a lot of people who come to Julius Randle's defense, and I'm one of them sometimes, who anytime anybody criticizes him, they go crazy. And then when he has great games, they're asking for apology notes. And it is quite literally the stupidest thing we do on the internet, which is really saying something. But, like, those folks who really, 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 like, go to the nth degree, like the Randall 10%ers, right, who are all the way to that end. I would like an answer for them to, like, watch this game and just why does the switch flip? Why not just, because I don't know that I see a whole lot of other players out there who come out and don't care at all, and then just all of a sudden it's like, okay, I guess you're going to be now an all-NBA guy for this half. What? It's so frustrating. I've called him the most maddening player in the NBA. And tonight is a classic example of why, because the dude is unstoppable in third quarter. The dude was unstoppable. And I don't know. I don't know what to say about Julius Randle anymore. Let's talk about something else. Jalen Brunson, I mean, I don't know what more he could do. Yeah, I know he missed the free throw. At the end there, he missed 2 free throws tonight. Went to the line twice, missed both. The late one, and then he missed another one somewhere along the way on an and one. So that was a little weird. Final margin was 3. I'm happy we don't have to like really go crazy over that missed free throw, but 35 points on 25 shots, 5 of 10 from deep, and 6 rebounds, 8 assists, 3 turnovers. I thought Brunson was brilliant. I thought it was brilliant from the opening tip on offense, at least. And like the rest of his team, I thought he really fought hard defensively down the stretch. Wasn't enough, but I don't know what else more you want to say. And then from there, I don't know that we got another really. I mean, well, quickly, okay, let's shout out quickly. Quickly had 18 points, 4 of 11 from the field, but got to the free throw line. He was 3 of 6 from deep. As is usually the case, he's instrumental in turning things around initially. I thought he did bring some nice energy to the game with the backup unit for starters, and then in the first half, and then when he came in the second half, I think it made a big. That was like when they made their big push. And so quickly, as usual, is the Knicks kind of wild. He's their ace up their sleeve. Were there a couple of instances where quickly took some shots that maybe you wouldn't like. We're like, man, maybe think better of that one there. Sure, but like, that feels borderline nitpicky given what everybody else non-Brunson division did in this game, because Hardenstein had another couple of nice moments. Let's give iHeart some credit. He's perpetually awesome. But like, Josh Hart passing up threes, man, it hurts the offense. And if he keeps doing that shit, he's not closing games. How do you close with him if he's passing up threes like that? You can't do it. It's too detrimental. Dante hit some big threes when they were trying to make their initial push in the first half to get back in the game. He was fine. Rough RJ game. And another rough Quentin Grimes game. I don't end on a down note, but like RJ 3 of 11, Grimes 1 of 5. Grimes. You wonder, is he in his own head a little bit at this point? A couple of times, put the ball on the floor, and then takes like a pretty long mid-ranger. I think he missed both of them in this game. Like it almost feels like he's thinking the game a little bit too much right now. And it's a little tough to watch. He only played 20 minutes. Then again, DiVincenzo played 14. So, and then, Barrett, this game, not great. I'm not killing RJ. What is this? Third game back? Patience is a virtue. And he played, I'd say this about RJ, played phenomenal defense. With the exception of maybe that last possession, I thought he played phenomenal defense down the stretch. And that's what we've been calling for, right? On games where you don't have it on offense, right? Like tonight, 3 for 11, play your ass off on defense. Be the big wing defender that we are constantly talking about trading for. Just be that guy. So we don't have to always talk about trading for that guy. And he was that guy. Played in the game. So I did it. I ended on a positive note. That's really all I got. Just really, really a frustrating freaking game. And probably the least pleasant I've felt after a game this year. They did just enough to convince you that, man, maybe they were going to get this one. And yet, if I'm being honest with myself, I don't think at any time did I never was like, we got this one. I was like, okay, we got a chance now. I never felt like we had that one. I always, for some reason, thought that Phoenix was going to find a way. And they did. And you know what? Like, you lose Minnesota, beat Miami, you lose this one, 1-2. Not the end of the world. 2-1 here would have been really nice. Again, this is a packed East. And I really do think that spots, I don't know whether it's going to be spots 3 through 8, 4 through 9, 2 through 7, 2 through 8, whatever. Every win's going to matter a lot. So, yeah, it's tough when you lose one like this. All right. On that note, before we get to the super chats, a quick word from our friends. Let me give it a little shake at AG1. They are sponsoring the postgame once again. I think this is unfortunately the first postgame sponsorship for AG1 that comes after a loss. So sorry, AG1, you couldn't get a win here tonight. As a reminder, AG1, what is it? It's something that is going to make you feel a lot better, first and foremost. It has all the ingredients you want in something that is going to make you feel better. Prebiotics, probiotics, digestive enzymes for gut support, magnesium and B vitamins for energy support, a whole bunch of other stuff. It is a health drink that is formulated based on the latest science and maintains the highest quality of standards. I stopped taking any other vitamins. I was taking like men's, like 1 a day or 2 a day, whatever the hell. I replaced it all with this because I just feel a lot better. And as I said last time, or last couple times we did this, it's so easy to make and it tastes really good. Throw some lime juice in. It's delicious. We've got some family and friends of ours, me and Andrew, hooked on the stuff already. They can't stop talking about it. And most importantly, if you want to try it, try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2. Don't ask me what's in vitamin D3K2, but it's good for you. And 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com, #film school. One more time, that is drinkag1.com /film school. The drinking game tonight. What should the drinking game tonight be? Let's go with, I don't know. I don't want to make it something negative. I feel bad making it something. Any reference to Brunson being him. Let's try to keep it positive. Brun's him, just him. Anything, because Jalen Brunson was that good. He deserves that praise. Okay. On that note, let's get to the super chats. I'm curious where. I have an idea of where this one's going tonight, but I'm still curious. Jesse M, what is going on, Jesse? As I look up at my television and see a thrilled-looking Tom Thibodeau at the microphone. Most frustrating loss in years. Oh my goodness gracious. Well, the adjective is doing a lot of work there. Frustrating. I mean, even using that, like the Mavs loss last year was worse, right? The one where they were up the whole damn time. But yeah, you know what? They fought like Phoenix fought tonight in that game. So maybe that wasn't as frustrating for you. I don't know. I'm not going to tell you what to be frustrated about. This is a very frustrating loss. Phoenix role players not missing from 3. Julius MIA first half. Death by 1,000 offensive rebounds. Yeah, it's pretty frustrating. It's pretty freaking frustrating. And you wasted a brilliant Brunson game. Although at this point, this is kind of more the rule, not the exception. Thanks, Jesse. Busy. I wonder how many scouting reports Julius is on them, and they say traffic cone on it. Tomorrow is the full moon. Any chance we get him in a shuttle? I got another one from Busy coming up that I'll read now, and then I'll answer that question. I love Grimes' activity in the third. He wasn't making shots, but he was aggressive. I love Tibbs' faith in RJ on defense 2 nights in a row. Yeah, I'll throw a bone for Grimes, and then we'll get back to the Randall point. Man, I'm not disagreeing with you at all. I love it too, but I do want to. I have to throw a little bit of cold water. Like, if you're Quentin Grimes and you're not at that level of activity on defense every moment you're in the game, and to be very clear, it is the most egregious double standard that I am holding Quentin Grimes to. Make no mistake about it. But the reason I'm holding him to that double standard, and this will get back to the Julius point, is that like Quentin Grimes is asked to do so little on offense, which gets us into the whole other cycle of questions. Well, maybe he should be asked to do more. Maybe he should be more involved in the offense. Maybe then he wouldn't be so cold, which then gets us back to, well, is he capable of doing a lot more? Like, look at all the possessions where he gets it and he picks up the ball, or he has one dribble and he pulls up for a tough two. Like, we get into this vicious cycle with the Grimes conversation. At the end of the day, like he does have to defend at that level. Otherwise, he really, like, that's the biggest reason he's on the floor. And like, but you like to see a young player not letting his offensive struggles get to him. So I'll give you that. Let's agree on that. As for Julius, I mean, I don't like. What is there to say? There's nothing left to say about him. We have, like, I could sit here and be like, well, we have to worry about how is Julius Randle going to come out against whoever the fuck they play next, the Hornets, or is he going to have it, on Tuesday, or is this going to turn into a week-long thing, or and this or that, the other. Like, time is a flat circle. He'll be good. He'll be bad. He'll be good again. He'll be bad again. The bad's going to drive us all crazy. The good's going to be like, oh my God. Like, imagine if he ever put it all together. Like, it's the same shit. And the thing that I want to make most clear, and I meant to say this in the opening, and I'm going to say it now, and then we'll move on to the next super chat. The fact that we're having the same definition of insanity conversation that we've had for the last 4 years, you might be tempted to be like, well, that conversation in and of itself is frustrating. Why do we continue to do this? And is there not a better path? And that gets us into the reason this is not, in my personal opinion, you could disagree. This is not, nor has this ever been, about the Knicks front office having confusion or misgivings about what Julius Randle is or what Julius Randle isn't. Yes, I think there's room for reasonable people to be like, as good as up and down as he is, you can still maybe make him work as a third option, because guess what? If someone's your third option and he doesn't have it, it's a lot easier to sit his ass on the bench. Or let me rephrase that. Or make it such that he does not take down your entire game plan. But putting that possibility aside, we all know what he is. The front office knows what he is. This is a matter of, like, there has never been an opportunity for them to move off of this player and rid themselves of this conversation that we are constantly having, because there has never been a trade for value. And this is maybe stupid of me. God knows I've been stupid many times, but I trust that they have never turned down a deal that you would looked at on paper and objectively be like, that's, you know what? Maybe we're dropping a little bit off on talent, but that's a good deal for what you're getting, whether it's consistency, whether it's shooting with defense, whatever. It's a workable deal. I don't think they've ever had that opportunity and turned it down. I don't think they've ever had a realistic opportunity to move this player for what they would feel like they would need to make themselves whole in a different way. Because God knows if you're moving off of him, you're moving off of him in a way that would make your team differently and how you went about your business, whether that's RJ being the second banana or this or that. Like, I don't think that deal's ever been there, which is why we're sitting here and having this fucking talk like crazy people. Thanks, Busy. Jesse M with another one. Feels like a loss we'll remember in April. I mean, I sure as hell hope not. But you might be right. I don't know. We'll see. Will Oliver, there's a heartbreaking dagger that we're used to. Yeah, there is the heartbreaking dagger that we're used to. I had no doubt that was. But then again, I also thought the Jimmy shot was going in. It didn't go in. Look, Devin Booker is, I don't know how many platitudes I could give him. The guy is, he's a Hall of Famer. When the NBA does its top 100 in 22 whatever years, he's going to be on that list. I don't know. He'll go down. He might go down as the greatest Sun ever. I think you got to give it to Nash right now. 2 MVPs. But Book, man, I don't think Book's ever going to win an MVP, but I think you're going to look up and you're going to see, I'm not comparing him to this player, but I think you're going to look and you're going to see like an accolades, a resume that mirrors like Clyde Drexler. Like Drexler finished second in MVP one year. He had 5 or 6 other years or whereabouts where he was like, not like really in the running, but he was like 5th or 7th or 9th or whatever. Drexler made 5 All-NBA teams. Like, I could see Booker surpassing that. Like, the dude is, you get beat by if fucking Jordan Goodwin threw in that shot, I'd actually probably, I don't know, but I'd probably be more apoplectic. Or less, I don't know, but whatever. It's Devin Booker. Devin Booker's really good. It sucks. Busy with another one. Thanks for the support tonight, Busy. Always appreciate you, and I feel like I never thank you enough, so thank you. And we got another back-to-back from Busy. Julius Randle is that erratic friend you're reluctant to invite out because he can be the life of the party and everyone will have a good time, or he can flip over the table and ruin the night. Either way, to the moon. It's actually a great analogy. It's a fantastic analogy. And another one for Busy. Just not worth it when you know he's going to fail you when you need him the most. So here's where I will give Leon Rose too much credit, because I don't think they're playing quite this level of four-dimensional chess. But I'm going to pretend they are. At this stage of the game for the Knicks, and I say that, I mean, from day one when Tibbs first took over to today, at no point in time has there ever been even 1 millisecond where they have either been a contender for a title or had the opportunity to make a trade that would make them a contender for a title. The goal, the mission statement over the entirety of this time has been to just be good. And if you're good, get a little bit better. And if you got a little bit better, get a little better than that. It's about rehabilitating the franchise to the point where, this is going to sound insane, but I think I could say this. Like, the LOL Knicks, like, think about how embedded LOL Knicks was when Leon Rose and then Tom Thibodeau took over. Like, they were the laughing stock of the league, I would say, on balance at that point, you know. And so, considering the whole breadth of the last 20 years. So, in their effort to maintain, or to grow and maintain and increase respectability, Julius Randle has served his purpose. And then we don't need to go through his accolades. But, like, he makes you a better basketball team. Is he someone that you can have on a team that has real designs, real eyes on winning a championship? I think that is an extraordinarily valid question. And one, again, I'll reference yet again what Fred Katz said on the pod with me before the season, or early in the season, where I asked him, like, what do you think the front office thinks about Randle? And he was like, I could see it going both ways. I could see there being different factions in regards to that specific question. And again, that was not Fred Katz reporting that. I asked Fred Katz his opinion. Fred Katz gave me his opinion, to be very clear. But, like, it makes sense, you know? But that's a different conversation. And I do not believe, I have no inside information on this, I do not believe that we've ever come to an opportunity where the front office had, again, a chance to, like, cash in their Randle chips and get enough back to feel good about. And because of their position they're in, I think that's okay. That may change soon. Thanks, Busy. Brian Valderrama, what's going on, Brian? Everyone loves to hate on Randle, but RJ was MIA. Yeah, you know what? That's not an unfair comment. RJ was a 0 offensively tonight, more or less. No, he was a 0. I mean, you go 3 for 12. Or 3 for 11, whatever the hell he was. The defense was good down the stretch. It was meaningfully impactful on the game. But, like, on balance, was Julius Randle the better player than RJ tonight? Absolutely. So why are we spending all the time talking about Randle? One, it's maddening in a way that I don't know that I would call RJ's performance tonight a maddening performance. I think he's had a bad game. The time being spent on Randle right now is not because he was exclusively bad. It was because he flipped the switch. And it's just like, how do you exist like that? It's hard. No, that's fair. I mean, that's fair. You know, you're always going to wonder about the alternative universe, right? What if you replace Randle with a more consistent player who doesn't have his insane gifts on offense? Does it materially change how that game starts? Do they not get down as much? Do they not need him to put them on their back in the way he did in the third quarter? and then you arrive back at like, well, they probably would have been about where they were, at the end of the day. So I don't know. Thanks, Brian. David Crockett, what's going on, David? I was thinking about it today. I saw you messaged, I think me and Andrew. I still have to do the thing I said I was going to do, and I've been forgetting. I'll take care of that. David, it felt like the Miami game left them drained. Absolutely. Emotionally, maybe more than physically. Not an excuse. Agree. It just happens. Agree. It wasn't just Julius tonight, system-wide. Yeah, that's the thing. It was not just Julius. Again, Julius makes it more obvious and thus makes himself the target. I think David has another one. Yeah, here we go. Some of the start was the attention paid to Booker. Other guys got looks and hit them. Absolutely. And, that's one of those game plans where I don't really have an issue with that. I don't have an issue with, we're not going to let Devin Booker beat us tonight. Or we're not going to let Devin Booker get going tonight. I mean, this guy scored 73 points or whatever in an NBA game. And, yeah, I know he ended up with what he ended up with. He didn't really get going. We've seen Devin Booker. He had 40 the other night against Memphis. You're right. It was system-wide. It just looks a lot worse for him. And I will add, again, there's we know what it looks like when you turn it on, and I don't know, why couldn't it be more on from the beginning? Because here's the thing, he was a complete non-factor offensively, and I do think usually we focus on Julius's defense. When Julius is a complete non-factor on offense, that hurts them too, and he was a non-factor on offense in the first half. I mean, he was bad. He was between bad and being a non-factor. So, when you couple that with the defense and they rely on that, right? Because, what is always the excuse for Julius? Well, he's being asked to do a lot on the offensive end. Well, when he's not giving you anything on the offensive end, it makes it tougher. Thanks, David. Appreciate that. Jordan Taylor Bartels, what's going on, Jordan? We're missing a star wing. Everyone knows it. And the team are doing their best to do what they can to fill the hole. Time to build that pitch deck to top-tier prospects and take advantage of this list. I don't know what top-tier prospects we're talking about here. Or what list we're referring to. Are you talking about, trying to target a star wing in the draft? Good luck with that. I don't know if you're trying to talk about targeting one in free agency. Free agency is dead, and the Knicks are not going to have any cap space for a very, very long time. But nobody else does, because that's not the way you build teams in the NBA anymore. And they have tried to trade for a big-time wing. They had conversations about Paul George last trade deadline. They've had conversations about OG Anunoby. That's been reported, all that. So, yeah, in the meantime, you hope RJ keeps taking steps forwards. And I think more importantly than that, you hope he picks up some of the momentum that he had at the start of this year, because we're getting now close to being it's kind of back to the same old RJ again, with some exceptions. Again, the defense on Booker was phenomenal down the stretch tonight. But, yeah. Zach Kalalovic, what's going on, Zach? Missing free throws, I'm used to that. Getting killed on the boards, absolutely not. Yeah, you can't have that. Look, I'll try. This is going to sound like no one wants to hear this, but there are a lot of teams that this stuff like this is an extraordinarily common occurrence. I'm not talking about bad teams. There's a lot of good teams out there. I watched most of Clippers Mavs last night. If I was a Mavs fan and I had to watch them on a regular basis, and they have two of the greatest offensive players in fucking history of the sport, so they could get away with it. But if I had to watch that team on a regular basis and the lack of effort they put in, it's like an entire team of Julius Randles in terms of transition defense, and just to say nothing of their regular defense, and the Clippers weren't much better. Like, in terms of like just like a lack of a game plan, and like, are we getting good shots, and like stars, like talk about like Luka, man, he decides when he wants to play really hard and not. It doesn't look quite like it does with Julius, but like lots of stars around the league do this stuff. Lots of teams around the league like play like this regularly. The fact that we watched this game and we were like, holy shit, what the fuck was that? I think that is a good sign. You don't want it to happen too often. I guess just let's hope they don't have any letdowns with these next two games against Charlotte and Detroit. And I'll say it right now, if they are anything other than 11-7, right? Because they're 9-6 right now, I think. If they're anything other, or no, that doesn't make any sense. What I just said, they're 9-7. If they're anything other than 11-7, after these next two games, like that is not okay. Just throwing that out there. Thanks, Zach. Frank Sound, what's going on, Frank? Guys got to come ready to play. End of story. Totally agree. Completely agree. Dapik Seshadri, what's going on, Dapik? Julius dogging it is more infuriating than others because he's supposed to be one of our leaders and tone setters. The inconsistency is so maddening. You would think so, Dapik. Or Deepak. Sorry, that's my fault. You would think so. At the same time, I think in fairness, there's a lot of teams out there who their most talented players are not necessarily their leaders. When you get one of those guys, when you get a Jalen Brunson, who got smacked in the face tonight by Devin Booker, drew a foul in a big moment, like you never, ever question Jalen Brunson's effort. You hang on to that's why, Jalen Brunson, like the Knicks, I always say, where would they be without him? Because he gives you both. Unfortunately, that's a rarity. I think it really is, where you're going to get that consistent, like the Jimmy Butlers, the Bam Adebayos. I know I just named two Heat players because that's who we just played. The first people that come to mind, like those are rarities. I'm trying to think of like, Steph kind of is in his own way, although like Steph isn't exactly, getting you going crazy on defense there. I mean, really, it's kind of rare. Like, I'm sure there's other guys out there. I'm just not thinking of them right now, but it's kind of rare. Thanks, Deepak. Jordan with another one. We're being dangled at by Zion. No way he works in our current leadership structure. Need to fix the systemic issues first. We're being dangled at by Zion? I'm guessing that means like Zion is like trying to force his way here, or like kind of, making it so that like he wants his team to trade him without like outwardly making a trade request, whatever. In terms of no way he works in our current leadership structure, my mind goes to like the notion that they value guys that play games here, and they value guys that bring it, and he's not that. And when you're referring to need to fix the systemic issues, are you referring to the systemic issues with Zion, or are you referring to systemic issues with the Knicks? I mean, if you're referring to systemic issues here, I don't know what you'd be referring to. I apologize. I'm not really sure. If you're referring to Zion, like that someone needs to get in his ear and be like, hey man, like give a crap all the time and play really hard. I don't know. Why would we have any reason to believe that would change? So maybe Zion is not the right guy for this franchise, because I like the qualities that we value here. Thanks, Jordan. Deepak with another one. Amidst the chaos, JB is a therapeutic experience. All right. I'll count that as a reference to any Jalen Brunson reference, really, is a therapeutic experience. Shout out again. AG1, I'll say it one more time. Get the free 1 year supply of vitamin D3K2 and the 5 AG1 travel packs, which is basically just like 5 free, you know, five free ones of these because the travel pack gives you a bottle of AG1. Go to drinkag1.com/film school. Okay. Thanks, Deepak. Juvenile, what's going on, Juvenile? The Booker shot sucked the soul out of the arena like Shang Tsung. That's great. That's a fantastic reference. Thankfully, I'm old enough to remember it. Oof, this one hurt because it never felt like they were truly in control. It did not. It did not. The game was always ours to take. You know what it felt like we needed? Because I felt like, what did we go up by 2 at one point? I don't think we ever went up by 3. I could actually look this up very easily and get my answer. I'm going to say that we went up by 2 was the most. Yeah, we went up by 2. It felt like in a game like this, they needed to go up by 4 or more, specifically 4 or more to be like the Suns could come back and like hit a 3 and they would still be up. That's what this game felt like it needed for them to actually get the win, and they never got there. They left some meat on the bone. It wasn't just the freaking Booker shot. They left some meat on the bone tonight, man. And I'm not even talking about the first half. Like even in the second half, fourth quarter, they had like good looks, a couple of good, and you can't blame a whole lot of the shots. Like they had chances. They had chances to win this. I don't think they scored very many points in the fourth quarter. Neither team did. Yeah, both teams scored 21 points in the fourth quarter. That's not ideal. Thanks, Juanon. Philip Levin, what's going on, Philip? Despite a mid-Julius contest, RJ trailing the Booker game winner lazily and failing to recover showed a poor lack of effort. Let's win these next 3. Yeah, I probably should have gone harder on it. Like, that to me was an awareness issue. Like, at that point, you have to know 5 seconds, 4 seconds. He's taking the shot. He's taking the shot. Get in there. And that's an RJ thing as much as it's a Julius thing, where I've seen one contest from RJ and Julius where the shooter just has too much space, I've seen 100. This is a thing for both of them. And I think it's just because it's baked into their respective DNAs to fear the closeout because, I think it's in their DNA. The part that's really frustrating is like, we know RJ can, like, he has he showed it tonight. Like he can stand his ground. But whatever, I'm getting off track here. Yeah, let's win the next 3. I mean, the Toronto game being second night of a back-to-back. Obviously, I hope to God the Detroit game is an easy win, but Toronto, that's not going to be a picnic. Especially, I think that game's at home actually, or is it on the road? You'd think that I would know this stuff. Either way, like I never count Toronto as a guaranteed win. Yeah, Toronto is on the road. So you play Detroit Thursday in MSG, and then you go on the road Friday, Toronto. Like that's not going to be a picnic. That game. But if they win all 3, it certainly makes up for the Suns this game. Thanks, Philip. Dom Cappuccini, what's going on, Dom? How are you? Hope you're not too depressed tonight. Clyde said these games are dangerous because you never know who might step up. I love the fight. It never goes away, and I love it. How about play a full 48, though? The timing to play Charlotte and Detroit at home couldn't be better. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. Like you want to rack up your wins. But they better bring it because, like, again, Charlotte is one of these teams. Like, Charlotte is not abjectly terrible. Like, we should know that at this point. It's whatever it is. It's an in-season tournament game, right? We have stuff on the line for that. So, yeah, I'm sure that'll be a motivating factor. Thanks, Dom. Appreciate you, man. Thank you very much. Haitian Ferg, what's going on, Haitian? Got to play 48. 9 missed free throws. I didn't mention the missed free throws. Bad job by me. Yes. Make your free throws. And 15 offensive rebounds hurt. When you lose, you got to learn. When you lose, you learn. We got lucky against the Heat. The refs killed us in the paint. Got to show up on time. Yeah, the whistle was tough. I mean, there was the quickly drive where I think he had RJ open in the corner, wide open in the corner, and he went essentially 1-on-3 and tried to draw the foul. They didn't call the whistle. That was one. The Julius one where he was trying to go through everyone. Like, he just never gets that call. It's just he doesn't get the call. Because what are guys doing? They're just standing there being tall with their hands up. I don't know. But and there were other things too. Nurkic travel wasn't called. I'm sure there's others I'm forgetting. Thanks, Haitian. Appreciate you, man. Guy Hooper, then. What's going on, Guy Hooper? Straight up, the production from our guards, not named IQ and Brunson, is abysmal. Point blank. Hart Grimes, DVD, or DDV. Fix your shit. Get me off the Julius Randle ride, too. I mean, I don't know. What Knicks have been really good this year? So we have 9 rotation players. You would say Brunson, Quickly, and Mitch have all had really good years. Barrett had a good how many games before he went out with the injury that kept him sidelined for 3 games? What did he play? 7 games? Let's say between the games he's been out and the games he now hasn't been that great. I would say Barrett has been good for half the year, really good, and everybody else has just been kind of Randall, Grimes, Hard. I always do this. Hardenstein's been really good too. So, DiVincenzo's been fine. He's been fine. Hart's been a little bit of a disappointment. So like half your team has been good. And they're 9-7, so I guess it's a good sign. Thanks, Goober. Don Cappuccini with another one. Don, you're too much, man. The stats say the Knicks were excellent behind in 3, and yet it didn't feel that way. Or excellent shooting the 3, I think you mean. That 1 for 8 or 9 start hurt them almost as much as all of those defensive rebounds they missed uncharacteristically. Yeah, and again, they were not shooting a lot of threes early on, which I don't really know what that was a function of, but yeah, they definitely started slowly, and you just can't. I mean, when you get off to a start like that at home against almost any team, at the very least, you know you're going to be in a tight game down the stretch. At the very least, against a team like that with Devin Booker, and we haven't even mentioned Derek Gordon's name tonight. Like, my God, that freaking guy. What did he miss a 3? Yeah, he missed 3, actually. He was 6 of 9 from deep. 25 points season high. Fucking Eric Gordon, man. Aggravating. Thank you, Dom. Dom with another one. All I got tonight, they can't mess around these next 3. The playoff race will be tight all year now. Wouldn't be a good time to fall behind. Not at all. Thank you, Dom. I appreciate you. Seriously. You do too much, and your generosity is appreciated by everybody here at Knicks Film School. I mean, if they could get the next 3, that puts them at 12-7. 12-7 would be, I would say, an outstanding start to the season. Even with this, you want to throw the Cavs game in there. The second Cavs game is a game they should have won. I'm trying to think if there was really another one. But yeah, 12-7 would be outstanding. 11-8 to me would be okay. I would have probably signed for 11-8 before the season started over these first 19. As of right now, I don't know if I'd necessarily sign for 11-8, but like kind of expecting 11-8. I think that Toronto game is going to be really hard. Thanks, Tom. MRNKYN. I hope I got that right. With the Grizzlies in free fall. Oh boy, I think we got a fake trade coming here. Any chance we could possibly snatch Jaren Jackson Jr. away? Randall and Grimes and a bunch of picks. Hire Jaren Jackson Sr. if you must. Well, we already did, and he doesn't work for the organization anymore for whatever reason. I don't think so. I would be very surprised if Memphis, and again, Ja's not even back yet. So, who knows what's going to happen when Ja gets back. I would be very surprised if Memphis didn't just treat this year as like, oh, lost year. Let's get a high draft pick. See what we could do with that. Come back, reload. I mean, Jaren Jackson Jr. is, he's part of their core. Like, if you're trading him, what are you trading him for? Like, you're not trading him for Julius Randle, right? That's a trade you make when you're in the process of a rebuild. And like, I think Morant is too good. Forget about rebuild. Like, I think Morant is too good. I know he has his issues, obviously. I think Morant is even too good for them to even like reload. Like, and like, they're not going to, I mean, come on. I don't see it. I'd be utterly shocked if they entertained that trade, but who knows? I've been shocked before in the NBA, but I'd be shocked. Matt G, what's going on, Matt? Can't allow one player to sabotage an entire half. The coach has to take some blame for not holding him accountable for 4 years. Got out hustled as a team. I mean, that was my life after pretty much every game, right? 2 years ago, the 21-22 season. Like, it's on Tibbs just as much as Randall. Where's the accountability, right? And never had a good answer for it then. Don't really have a good answer for it now. So if you want to blame the coach for not holding Randall a little bit more accountable or accountable at all, I'm not going to sit here and tell you you're crazy. That's for sure. Thanks, Matt. Frank Miranda. Oh, goodness. What's coming now? What's up, Mac? It's your boy Frank from Patreon. This team will never go anywhere with Randall and RJ being two of their three best players. Watch for Paul George at the deadline. Just don't know. I don't see that coming. I mean, Paul George is an in-season trade. I don't see it. I talked it out recently because, like, he's the one guy they have that doesn't need the ball to be successful and impact winning. He's been freaking awesome this year. He's been the best player this year. I don't see it, Frank. I'm sorry to burst your bubble. I don't see it though. Jason M, what's going on, Jason? I'm sorry you were wrong on your halftime prediction. Dante DiVincenzo would not have given Booker so much space. You might be right. I think you could argue a lot of other defenders wouldn't have given him so much space, but RJ played good defense in other spots down the stretch. So, thanks, Jason. Is that it? I think that might be. That's it. Okay. All right. Not as bad as I thought, actually. Not as bad as I thought. One more shout out to our friends at AG1. Again, reminder, AG1 has all the good stuff, all of the probiotics and vitamin B, get you all your gut health that you want to get after games like this. If ever there was a need for more gut health amongst people watching this, it's now. Go to ag1.com/film school. Get your free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 and your 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. I will be back with my normal pod with Jeremy, which we are taping tomorrow. That'll drop Monday going into Tuesday at midnight, like usual. So keep a lookout for that. Obviously, post games coming up for the other games this week. Needless to say, and then before you know it, we're going to be next weekend is the start of the in-season tournament, like whatever they're calling it, the quarterfinals. So we'll see if maybe the Knicks are a participant in those quarterfinals. I think again, I'm pretty sure starting next weekend, although I'm not 100% sure. That's it. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you're listening on a podcast feed, do the whole 5-star rating review thing, and we will be back with more fun and games very soon. Peace out.